welcome back to What's This Podcast, episode number 3. We hope you enjoyed last episode, which was TV series. This episode is social media. We had a comment on Instagram about doing YouTube channels, but we thought we'd broaden the circle on that and do social media instead, entwining YouTube into that. My name's Ethan, and I'm joined by your usual hosts, such as
John
and Jim.
I'm Ronnie.
And yeah, just a quick one. As we're talking about social medias, do go check ours out. So go follow our Instagram, and we've now got Twitter. So I'll go follow that, and I'll put that in the link for you down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss one of our shows. And also, if you enjoy the video, just give it a like because it shows that you really appreciate it.
Even though there's nothing to watch.
Even though there's nothing to watch, but eventually that is our plan. When COVID's over, we're all going to be able to do like camera videos for you so you can see our faces.
We'll all be in the same room.
And we'll all be in the same room and allowed. But yeah, so let's go.
Social media then.
Social media.
So ironically enough, just looking at James, he's literally on Facebook.
I'm just checking Facebook, so you have to excuse me.
You are sitting there on social media as we talk about the pitfalls and, well, not necessarily pitfalls, but social media in general.
Because there's something I need to find whilst we're discussing this. So
is it important?
It is.
You carry on. The irony does not escape me.
Ronnie's a bit busy.
I am currently using social media. I'm using YouTube to fix a laptop.
Oh, very nice.
That's a proof of concept.
Very interesting. So I have very mixed views on social media. On a whole, I hate it. On a whole, I believe that we'd be better off without it. I find that in the modern world now, it's more divisive, makes people more divisive than ever. I think it's distracting, and I think it's quite sad in some respects as well. I think people use it instead of normal everyday conversation, and it does kill conversation, and it's not very good for people. Think it's great for spreading ideas and things like that. I think it can be, but some elements of social media, your big ones, your Instagrams, your Facebook, and probably your Snapchat, I think are a load of rubbish for that sort of thing.
Talking about the big ones, I was going to say, like, what is the social media you think you use the most?
Instagram and YouTube, because again, you perhaps don't think YouTube is social media, I suppose, but anyone can set up a channel, anyone can make videos like we are, and anybody can get them out there, and I suppose that's a good thing. I suppose out of all of them, I think YouTube is probably, although I don't know, I suppose the danger with me with social media is probably the thing that upsets a lot of people. If you watch that Social Dilemma, it's the algorithms that are used to only show you the stuff that you tend to click on a lot.
Yeah, I definitely think YouTube's one of the best.
It is, but it only shows you what you want to see. So if you've got,
also be bad as well, because anyone can put anything out there, if you know what I mean.
It's an echo
with
chamber.
Anything really, yeah.
That's the problem with it.
It's an echo chamber. There's no
social
right
media.
to reply.
No, all social media can become an echo chamber. If you're always looking at one side of the coin, you're only ever going to get fed stuff from that side of the coin, and vice versa.
That's the real problem, is the fact that it feeds you what you want to see. So you're not seeing balanced opinions and variety. You're seeing more of what it thinks you want to see, which is what you've already watched.
Which makes life, which
I
makes
don't know if any
things
of
more
you have actually
diverse.
had this. You know, when you're like talking about something, and you're like, oh, I really fancy, like, I'm going to buy a new computer or new PlayStation. Then you're on social media like Facebook or somewhere, and then that ad pops up specifically.
Well,
John and I were talking about it the other day. Yeah, well, I did a test and I said the same thing about 5 or 6 times in the day, and then the next day it turned up on my Facebook ads.
It's just crazy, isn't it?
Which is, well, it's very intelligent. It's a little bit big brothery, but
Like I said to you, I'm not necessarily a. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say I'm not massively fussed by it. It doesn't bother me because I'm not the sort of person that can be swayed by seeing an advert to want to buy it. So if that's the sort of thing they're looking for, you know, the people that go, oh, look at that, I'm going to get that. I was just talking about that. If you know why it's coming up, then you're less likely to, you know, go out and buy the thing.
Or if you're talking about it, then you were properly in the market for it anyway. So
yeah, well, that's it. And if you are looking for something and you've been speaking to your friends about it, quite handy to have it come up. It gives you something to look at. But the whole collecting data, you know, that side of thing, it really doesn't bother me at all.
They're doing that from the day you're born anyway, you know, without social media, aren't
Yeah, but it's a lot more prevalent now.
Yeah.
You know, previously it was, you know, the Office of National Statistics, your census.
Yeah, I suppose
now they're getting what you have for breakfast because you posted it on your Instagram.
It's what they use that data for. I suppose it's all very well to say that we don't really care about our data on a day-to-day basis, that social media scoops up. But then when you look at some of the damage it's done, look at like the Cambridge Analytics and stuff like that. When you look at metadata, that's the thing. It's not your data individually. You did this, Jim, and you posted that, Ethan, and you like to go this place.
It's groups and areas.
Yeah, it's getting a census of say a 250,000 people, and saying, well, this 250,000 people in this area of the country tend to lean towards this area. So let's target this sort of advertising, or let's target this political view over here, and let's target this political view over here. So I don't mind it too much when it comes to sort of retail adverts. When people talk about, like you were saying, it's selling you a PlayStation or it's selling you a fishing rod or whatever it might be, because that's just that to me is targeted advertising. It's like opening a fishing magazine and it being one page being full of fishing rods. It's targeted advertising.
Adverts.
I like fishing. I'm looking at a fishing mag. I'm going to buy a fishing rod. It's when they use that data, and it's no fault of the engines within the algorithms within social media, because that's what they're built to do. They're built to show you stuff that you like to look at, to keep you engaged. And the reason they want to keep you engaged is so they can feed you adverts, because people like me, who have a business selling things, want to target those adverts to people that click on certain things. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's why I have a very odd relationship with it. But
so you'd say like you use Instagram the most?
Yes.
Actually, what about you?
Well, I've only just. I mean, I don't.
Just got into the Instagram.
Well, yeah, and I've just. I think I've done a maximum of about 4 or 5 posts. That's it. And that's one of the things that this algorithm that people talk about, that we've been talking about, it feeds me. So all I've posted so far is a couple of golf videos of me down the driving range, and my entire feed is just golf. It just shows me golf stuff, which is great because I love golf, so I don't mind watching it. But
what would you say you use the most? If not?
Probably YouTube, because I watch a lot of videos and stuff on YouTube, and there's obviously the podcast on there and stuff like that. I mean, Joe Rogan's no longer on it, but
he's on it still.
Well, no, his new stuff is not fully on it. You get clips. Yeah.
So it's that. When you look at things like Facebook and stuff, obviously they can show you certain. Just to let you know, Ronnie, we can hear all your little like niggles and noggles.
My work.
all your hard work that you're doing there, yeah. With Facebook and stuff like that, when it's showing you things that you're looking at, when it's showing you things that you don't necessarily want to see, I don't think it's as divisive as YouTube. YouTube, obviously, you could be flashing up 30-minute videos or 40-minute videos, and if you start to click on, I don't know, the world's flat, you're going to start seeing more flat Earth videos, and they're going to be longer and longer. They're going to be more involved, and you in no uncertain terms, you can get brainwashed a lot quicker through YouTube than I think through any other form of social media, because that's all you'll see. You'll just start seeing conspiracy theory videos.
That's the main thing. That's where the echo chamber is.
Yeah.
Because there's no one. So I can make a video saying X, Y, and Z, and there's no one there at that point to say, no, you're wrong.
Yeah. This is
because of ABC.
Yeah.
So there's no rebuttal, and that's where it's really bad.
No critical thinking.
There's no critical thinking. So you're just being given, and if it's an intelligent person, or they sound intelligent and they speak with big words and stuff like that, you can quite easily be led down a garden path.
Yeah.
In regards to some things, which is why I think we have more conspiracy theories now than anything else in the world. How do you feel about conspiracy theories? Just going on to that, this could be a good podcast for another time.
Good conspiracy theories.
Depends what theory, doesn't it? I suppose, because everyone relates to a theory.
Do they?
Not relates, but everyone sees a theory that they probably think that's more plausible than.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Everybody there's a degree, isn't there? And I think you've got your flat earthers on one side,
and then your Kennedy assassination.
I'm just about to say the Kennedy assassination, which I can't believe anybody can look at anything that's been written or put out on that and think that it wasn't some sort of cover up.
I saw a fantastic documentary. It had this bloke called Kevin Costner. He
quite like it.
Yeah, he did a 3-hour documentary about it. Yeah.
So yours would be YouTube then?
Yeah, YouTube I think would be probably the social media I use the most.
What about you?
It used to be Facebook. When Facebook first came out, it was amazing. It was fantastic.
Friend face. It's like friend face.
What?
IT crowd,
of course.
But yeah, it was fantastic. It let you get back in contact with people that you'd lost contact with. I mean, it was a bit like Friends Reunited and stuff like that.
I remember Friends Reunited, yeah.
But it was, you know, it gave you an access to people that you perhaps didn't always have, which was great. And, you know, if it had stayed that way, it'd have been fantastic. I think people, you know, well, I know loads of people still use it, but I think there's a bit more of a movement now to people coming off it. A lot of friends of mine have started to come off it.
Yeah, I know a few people that have started to come off it.
Facebook's probably one that I use the most.
Is it?
Really?
Just because I'm always like, there's the video. I mainly use Facebook just to watch videos now. It's weird.
It's danger.
I know, but I just watch it to use. Like,
But you
watch
can,
like.
You can get
That's why you
lost.
believe in
You
vampires.
can get lost in Facebook videos.
Yeah,
that is a thing.
One of my friends literally says every night he stays up for about 3 hours a night just on Facebook watching videos. He said he's just so addicted to it. Watches one and then it clicks onto another and he's
Well,
like,
it just automatically loads the next one up for you.
It's like the YouTube rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
This is exactly what it's designed for. If you've watched the Social Dilemma,
Social
it's
Dilemma,
literally
yeah.
designed to keep you going through, because then they slip the odd adverts every now and again, and they know that they're getting their money from you. So that's exactly what they want. It's one of those things. It's you can blame and like point the finger at people who just spend loads and loads of time on social media, but they are just the result of what they're trying to do with social media. You almost can't blame them because they're just doing what the program is trying to get them to do.
And I think the generation, well, your generation, Ethan, are so wired in, you know, plugged into this stuff. It's
definitely.
Do you still use
Especially
Snapchat?
Not as much. I use it to message Molly. That's it.
You see, that's so weird that people use like that to
Well,
message
yeah, I never text.
rather than like
Me and Molly just
WhatsApp
use my
or
WhatsApp
Snapchat.
or you know, message.
yeah.
We never use WhatsApp to message each other,
Why not
which is
just-
weird because I use it with everyone else.
Why not just a
literally
normal
Molly.
message though?
Huh?
Why not just a normal
I
message?
don't know why.
Because you get it free in your you know
I know,
mobile
I
plan.
never know
And,
why we just always use Snapchat. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
easier to send photos to each other. We use that for that quite a lot.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
dirt person.
not like that.
Yeah. See, I thought your biggest like thing would have been for a couple of years back or whatever. Was what did you meet Molly on? Grinder, Tinder.
Grinder.
He did just tell us earlier that he spends all day on his knees for work.
Sorry.
I'm a plumber.
Sorry, Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
That was a big thing for kids a while
You
back.
say kids, but it's for 18, you know.
I know, but
not
it's
no one
for,
ever uses
yeah,
it.
but it's
I
for-
think now the biggest social media platform that I know that literally everyone's on is TikTok.
I'm not on it. Are you on it?
No.
Nope.
Not you, but like everyone, you know, kids.
The cool
like,
kids.
Rachel's on it. Rachel's on
I know.
TikTok.
You see, I don't see TikTok as necessarily
I don't
a
understand- I
social
don't know what it
media
is.
platform. I see it
But
as
is
just
now, it's
time
classed.
wasting.
It's classed as a social
But
media
I don't know.
platform.
I don't know what it is. People say TikTok videos, and I
It's
have
like,
no idea
it's
what it
just
is.
basically like you can either have 60 seconds or 30 seconds videos of you either dancing, saying whatever, talking about whatever. But yeah,
It's like
really
Instagram
don't get that.
and
for
it's
videos.
literally it's quite bad actually because they don't really thingy it, so you can literally do anything on it other than get completely naked. You could do it every.
Oh, well, in
anything on
that
it.
case, it's not for me.
You can get half naked, which most
If
people
they're
do.
not going to allow my posts, then I'm not interested.
I suppose, yeah, but I mean, I suppose TikTok doesn't.
It's becoming like the new cartoons. You know, like how we had cartoons when we were younger. Like my brother, that's all he watches. TikTok. Same with YouTube. He doesn't sit down to watch TV.
Is there an age thing on that? Or can you get it from any age?
Yeah, any age. That's the bad thing. That's what
Oh.
people are saying, that they need a restriction on it or restrict what people can post.
Does it show you anything? Does it? I suppose it's the same thing. If you look at certain things, is it going to show you more of those sort of things?
Yeah,
Yeah,
will do,
that
yeah.
is what it is. So if you like, so for me, my TikTok's just Star Wars because that's all I watch. That's all I like to see, like people's Star Wars.
You're gonna have to
videos and
you're gonna have to
stuff
show
like
me
that.
it after this.
Yeah, I'll have to
Just
show you.
have a look at it.
But like, not to be like crude or out, but there was a massive thing once of a nonce that was on TikTok, and he used to literally like record him, not doing it, but just record himself and like tag like underage girls in all his videos. And TikTok
I
didn't do
thought you
anything.
didn't have TikTok. Jim.
Well,
And TikTok just didn't do anything about it, and it's a
be prepared to receive the lawsuit for that.
It's quite a big thing at the minute with stuff like that.
If you could write that down for me as well, I'll do you for libel and slander.
Yeah,
It's
that's
basically
great.
what you call it, where it's not porn. It's porn, but
What is
what's the word for it? Where it's not full
Explicit.
on porn,
Softcore?
soft porn, sort of. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just basically now a platform for soft porn.
TikTok is?
Yeah, pretty much.
But your little brother's on it.
I know. That's what I mean. It's really bad.
How
Yeah.
old's your little brother?
11,
Jesus.
12. Yeah, it's really bad.
Um,
I'll have to show it you.
Yeah, so for me, I suppose it is an age thing, isn't it? But Facebook is always seemed as the people that are old, like the older generation.
Yeah, it's something
they
when I was at
get
school,
to grips with
it was something
Facebook.
you wanted to be on because
Everyone was on
the
it,
old
yeah.
thing. Like,
Now,
it made you feel like an adult if you were on Facebook.
Do you think what was the one before Facebook? What was it called?
MySpace.
That was a weird one.
Well, you
wasn't
just
it?
mentioned Friends Reunited.
Yeah.
People forget about that, but that's pretty much what Facebook started off as. Oh, you can connect with people that you're not seeing for ages, or people that you do see all the time.
That's
which I find weird.
Well, that's a great film, though, isn't it? With Mark Zuckerberg.
I've never seen that.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Social
Network.
Film, yeah, I've never seen
Social
it.
Network.
Yeah,
Really
it is a
good
good
film.
film. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sum up Facebook, and I was telling you the other day on a post, and I never very, very, very rarely go on it. I perhaps go on it once a month, if that. And I only go on it because I set an account up about a year ago
For business.
for work.
Yeah.
And somebody had put on there, I need a hug today. My husband suddenly passed away last night.
And it's like, that's the first thing I'm going to post. First thing I'm going to do.
Now,
I'm
I
not
suppose
gonna,
you could say, "Oh, that's good." I don't know. They're reaching out. There's a community for them, but if that's what you, to me, it might be my personality. But the night after your husband has suddenly, so it's not like he's been ill for a while, suddenly passed away that night before, and you're already on social media clamoring for attention.
Yeah.
I find that.
But is that clamoring for attention, or is that
a shout for
depression?
a
shout for help.
Well, shout for help. I need a bit of someone talk to me, because that person may have had no one.
Because you talk about Facebook being a bad thing, but then
I mean, we see it as, God,
for attention.
we would. No, I just see it as like that's your life, Facebook, by the sounds of it. If that's what you're doing, and that might be a little bit sad, but
I perhaps should have meant to pity it wasn't you.
But if that is your only outlet to the world, because you may have no friends, your family might have gone.
I get that.
That might be your only outlet.
Well,
and then that's your community, and that's your friends, and
but I don't know. Just look at that and I just think.
But yeah, for me,
that's Facebook. That's Facebook in a nutshell.
That would be one of the last things to go through my head after a family member passed away. To go, need to post that. Yeah, need to get those likes and those new emojis. Well, the care ones.
Somebody else had put some photos of a funeral they'd attended.
Love it.
Literally, as the coffin is going into the building, the pallbearers are taking it in there, and I'm like, again, you could perhaps think, well, maybe a lot of people couldn't show up, so they're putting it. But I just think it just seems now, and I suppose people talk about it in concerts and stuff. Everybody's got their phones up. Everybody's looking through their phone screens. And stand-up comics, like when me and Ethan went to go and see Chris Rock, your phones have to go in a bag. You have to go in one of them sealed bags because they don't want anything getting out and they don't want distractions, etc., etc. But is that it now? Is everything is fair game to be uploaded to your life, to the internet, for the world to see? And I just find that.
But weird. Yes and no. It is weird. So in regards to concerts, I've been to loads of concerts throughout my life and festivals and stuff like that. And sometimes I will record something
from memory.
Yeah, I have.
No, not necessarily from memory, but then I'll send it, put it on Facebook, and I'll tag someone that couldn't go to it. So.
Fuck you! I went to go see Pearl Jam.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I would never do anything to mean like that. But no, I'd like, this is what I was talking about. This is where I went. This is the band. Check them out, or whatever it may be. Or if someone already liked them but couldn't go, this is what you.
But if we know, everybody now defends his social media because this, that, and the other. But it's very new. And we got one of these crass old person things too, but the world was perfectly fine without it before. Has it brought anything to, like, for us four generally, has it brought anything to our lives that we thought was missing?
Yes.
Or if we didn't have it?
If I didn't have it, I would have been able to meet Molly.
You want to meet Molly.
Is Tinder a social media network?
Yeah.
Or is it a dating app?
It's still social, isn't it?
It's social.
You're socialising.
I would say it's definitely.
But in theory, dating, like online dating, let's say, has been around for longer than that, and so has like video dating. It's like that side of things.
Well, then Facebook.
But it's the easier fact that you can just put it up on your phone these days. Isn't
Facebook.
Dating back then was on a computer, wasn't it?
Or you write into the list.
Or you send a video in on VHS. But I met my wife through Facebook. Well, not through Facebook. We already knew each other, but that was like 17, 18 years ago, 19 years ago. But reconnected through Facebook.
So you do say it's a bad thing, but then if you look at like the lockdown we had, I don't know if any of you are part of the like isolation thing. That they
Isolation
did,
in, yeah,
which was brilliant.
But that's where he saw that thing the other
I
day.
hated it.
Oh,
I didn't.
yeah,
I mean, I never.
There are some bad stuff on there, but yeah, I do think that.
But John, what about your business? Where would your business be without social media?
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. I mean, social media is one of those things for advertising that you go straight to, get a lot of customers through it. Things get shared. Yeah, for stuff, it is big for stuff like that. I suppose the internet in general has revolutionised the way things are shared. But I suppose social media.
I think the thing is, there's always been we as humans have a social instinct. It's why we form communities, why we can have hundreds of people in towns and small places together.
Yeah.
So I think it's literally feeding straight into that. It's the reason, like when you're sitting on a bus and the random person next to you starts talking to you.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's just we have this instinct to be social.
But I suppose with social media,
the classic is when you're walking a dog or you're going for a walk, someone you've never met before. It's in the morning, you both go morning.
Yeah,
because it's a polite thing to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Or give them that.
Or give them. Well, you see, there's two types of nod. There's the up nod, and there's the down nod, and it depends on whether you know them or whether you don't. If it's you do know them, it's up nod. You know them, down nod.
I tend to go with the flat smile.
Do you? Well, that just looks like a serial killer.
Yeah, it looks like basically saying, "Don't even talk to me."
Yeah.
Or you just
give him a Spider-Man.
Don't give him a Spider-Man. No one needs a mix in the morning.
Quick sound.
No one needs a mix. I'd just like to say quickly a thanks to our sponsor for this episode, Gym Equipment for You. Check out their website and find some nice stuff. Sorry, back on.
Did forget the sponsors, didn't we? Yeah, that's true.
So talking about, like, we spoke about YouTube. What do you think with that career-wise stuff? Like, a lot of people now, careers are YouTube.
I honestly thought you said career-wise. I was like,
No,
I don't
career-
think they have it.
YouTube.
North Korea don't have it.
So basically what we're doing, making a channel, but it's literally their career.
I mean, it's an amazing thing. I mean, I work in IT, and there are people whose jobs are managing social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those things that's somebody said I mean, I've got a 3-year-old. By the time he's old enough and in work, there's a good chance he'll be doing jobs that don't even exist yet.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And it would be the same thing.
Like, let's say
he'll be servicing AI.
The Leicester football team page. That is someone's job.
Yeah.
To post on their Instagram, run their Twitter, and run their Facebook.
Yeah.
Someone will get paid to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm on about like YouTube channels, like making gaming content.
I have no problem with it. I think this is the same argument as people say, "Oh, footballers shouldn't be on X a million a week," things like that. It's like
if the money's there.
Yeah. If they're in an industry that is generating that amount of income, it's way better that it goes to the people physically playing the game, doing the sport, whatever it might be, whatever that industry. If you're a film star and you command 6 million per film or 20 million per film, whatever it might be, if you can command that because of the revenue that you bring in because you're in a film, if you're, I don't know, name a film star, Jake Gyllenhaal, a big name, then I don't see a problem with that.
No.
I mean, yes, it's an exorbitant amount of money, but what the industry you're in is earning an exorbitant
as well. It's not just YouTube. Them. They have sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so it's the same with any sport.
I just find it really, really strange because both my daughters used to watch. Well, sorry, my eldest daughter used to watch people playing games on the internet.
Yeah, people find that weird, but I think it's quite enjoyable.
I just do not get it. I'm like, what if you just play the game yourself?
I had this conversation with one of a podcast I did many moons ago with a friend of mine, and he said exactly the same thing. And it was a conversation that I had with Ethan. If you, not to shed light on what we're doing right here, but we've got a little screen up at the minute, and we're watching the Leicester game.
Oh, are you?
So we're not, we're not playing football, but we're watching people play it.
Yeah,
there's no difference between playing Tekken or watching other people play Tekken.
Well, I think there is.
If you've got an interest in it and you know all the ins and outs, like you would do with a football match or a rugby match, so dilute that football match down. When does it become silly? If it's just two people. So if you're watching two people play tennis, is that weird? Because they're just knocking the ball back and forth. And then if you're watching two people play chess, they just got a board in front of them and there's two people playing chess together.
I think it becomes weird when there's. I couldn't go and play Premier League football because I'm not good enough.
No.
It's a computer game.
Yeah.
You can get good enough. There's no real physical ability required.
You're watching.
There is.
Ronnie, do you remember when we were playing Army of Two? How long did it take me to shoot that mine?
brilliant. We literally, went up some stairs,
There
turned around,
are
and was like, oh,
levels
there's a
to
mine on the wall. Did the mine just shoot that mine? Bang,
Oh,
miss.
oh,
No, just shoot the mine, bang. I spent 5 minutes watching John
then
trying
in the
to
end, I got
shoot.
an automatic gun out and just drew a circle around it. Couldn't shoot this fucking mine to save my life.
There is skill to it.
There is a lot.
Yeah,
there is a lot of skill to it.
There is skill, but I'm
that's
just
the same
saying.
with football.
There's
You can play football. You probably run out of breath in 5 minutes, but you can still play it.
Oh,
But you
thanks,
just don't
mate.
have the
5
skill.
minutes.
If you had the skill, you'd probably be better.
When you see some of these games,
I think chess is a good example. Chess isn't entirely cerebral. There is very little physical ability required in it, but anyone can play chess. But it doesn't mean you can play chess good enough to compete. It's the competitive level, isn't it? It's the competitive level to it that makes it.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I find really weird, that there's a competitive level for computer games.
it does seem
But that's just me. I just don't.
It does seem weird, but when you don't,
When I was growing up, my brother would go and play on the computer, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm going outside. I'm going to go, play rugby or kick a ball around, or play tennis or something like that." But he'd be on the computer.
Yeah.
And I'd like,
Yeah.
I just think I honestly just don't play games that much. I
Well,
think I
that's
play
probably why,
one
then. I think
game.
if you're
But that's what I
into
mean.
games,
For
you
me,
enjoy watching a game.
watching someone play a game is weird. If I wanted to see that game in action, I'd just go and play it myself rather than watch someone else do it.
Yeah.
But I suppose it could be a bit similar to this.
Sorry, everyone. We just need to turn this off.
Some people might want to, not listen to this podcast because we're doing it. They could just go and do their own sort of thing. But,
That is definitely true. But talking about how we're talking about making money and a career, I know this would interest you too more because you're fighting and stuff. What do you think of YouTube now getting into the boxing scene? So with Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather.
that's not boxing.
Well, it is though, isn't it? Because Floyd Mayweather is a boxer.
He is.
Yeah,
And Logan Paul is technically
it's a spectacle.
boxer. He has his boxing certificate.
I
He's
know.
an official
Did he
boxer.
drive down to the bottom of the ring and get his badge?
but this
Yeah, but this is the same as was it Freddie Flintoff? Didn't Freddie Flintoff do a boxing match as well?
What's that? Sorry.
yes,
Didn't
you
Freddie
did,
Flintoff got his boxing license and boxed?
spot
It's
on,
a spectacle. It's a spectacle that will be fun for people who are interested to watch, but I wouldn't say
Well,
it's.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a.
I don't mind YouTube getting into it. I don't mind like Amazon getting into doing the football. I think
Anyone can get into anything.
Yeah, I think if you're going to put the infrastructure in place, you're going to put the money there so that more people can watch it, or that people enjoy the presentation, if people enjoy what you're doing, the production, then I don't see a problem with it at all. I think it's fun. I think YouTube and stuff has made, say, esports, and now you've got Twitch. That's one we've not really talked about.
What is Twitch?
Twitch is basically like people you watch people live playing games, so you can watch people playing them live.
Yeah.
That could have been what my kids were
But
watching.
they don't just do that. So they'll have podcasts streaming live, so you can listen to
People will
live
do stuff live. So we could do this podcast live, and we could have lots of followers, and they can send you money
They literally
if they like
subscribe
you.
to you, sending you
just
£5,
ching you money
£10,
or whatever.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Loads of
People
people
have had
loads.
people have had a lot of money from it.
There's a person I follow called Dr. Disrespect, who is an amazing personality. If you ever read up on him,
I thought he got banned.
he got banned from Twitch. He's now on YouTube.
Oh, okay, yeah, he got banned.
But yeah, he had a massive contract with Twitch, a very, very big contract with Twitch. No actual amounts discussed, but he was making a living from it easily.
There is one platform that my stepdaughter told me about a few weeks back. I'd never heard of it. Something called OnlyFans.
Oh yes,
And apparently there's money to be made there.
there is, Jim. You should get on that. You'll make a freaking fortune.
She gave me a brief description of what it was, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, so if you're talking about what I'm talking about, OnlyFans wasn't actually made for that. It was just made for a YouTube channel, or if you had a cooking show, you could make an OnlyFans and put recipes on there that people pay you to get their recipes, or if you're a streamer or something, people pay you to I don't know what, if you've got, I don't really know, but it wasn't actually made for what people would now use it for.
But it's like anything, isn't it? If people can make money out of getting their kit off, because people are willing to pay for that sort of shit, then they will. So yeah, you'll always see
But is that social media? Would you call that social media?
No,
because is that an open platform?
It
depends what you're using it for. If you're using it for that, to pay to see stuff like that, I'd say that's sex work, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, I don't think that's. I wouldn't say that's social media. I think social media is a platform that's all encompassing for everybody. You don't have to pay to get
an open
forum. Yeah, okay. I don't think you need to pay.
You shouldn't have to pay to do social media, really, should you?
We should set up an OnlyFans.
We should.
Just well, 3 of us at least can send pictures to our fans of our majestic beards, and when Ethan finally gets through puberty, he can send pictures of his beard. And
I'm going to do it. Let's do it. Let's set up a let's what's this podcast only fans.
Yeah,
you can tell us what you want to see. We don't mind. Whatever you want.
Just pay the money and we'll do it.
Yeah, as long as you pay the money, don't worry about it. Ethan's always on his knees.
I think. I mean, scored, lads. Check your phone.
No, offside.
Talking about more sort of current affairs and social media. Have any of you heard of Parler?
No.
Yes, I have, but I haven't. I don't know anything about. I don't know anything about much.
So basically, it was another social network that was created by kind of right-wing conservatives in America because they were getting pushed off the other social media platforms.
Yeah.
So they kind of all gravitated towards their own. And it was allegedly used to coordinate the storming of the US Capitol.
Building. Oh, interesting.
And basically, since then, all the kind of the tech companies that were not intentionally supporting it by like Amazon's AWS hosting and things, they've basically all now pulled.
Yes, that's where I've heard it. Yeah, because
now it's basically dead in the water.
Yeah. That's where I heard about it.
Yeah, it's almost like the kind of the dark side of social media. The people who felt or who thought quite similarly found a way to gather together to share their views in a kind of, again, an echo chamber. So they support each other and see a lot of similar points of view, to the point it led to violent action.
Well, I think Facebook did something not similar, but Facebook did something a while ago. I can't remember when it was, but they allowed you to set up groups.
Yes.
Which was, a bit of a game changer. So if you liked, like my daughter does, what's it called, embroidery. If you liked embroidery, they do. Yeah, groups, you can join groups that talk about embroidery, so techniques and stuff like that, or you can join, like I was in, a cigar one or a hot tub one, and I think that's a very small group of people, and that, by the sounds of it, this Parler is that small group, but with its own infrastructure, but just for a larger amount of people, by the sound of it.
We never asked Ronnie, what's the social media you use?
Probably mostly Instagram. Between Instagram and Facebook, mainly for, again, pushing business purposes. I'm a photographer, so I usually share my photography business.
It's one of the best for businesses. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting now they've actually started. I mean, Facebook have already started to monetize businesses. You can now sell products through Facebook. Without having to actually, have a separate store anywhere. And I think you can now do the same through Instagram. They've launched their stores as well.
Oh, I didn't know that was Instagram.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
When you say you can sell things through Facebook, is that Facebook Marketplace, or is this something else?
No, you can literally have like an inventory of stock and it will be sold through Facebook. You can have a shop on Facebook.
Like an eBay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is quite good.
It's becoming all-encompassing. I suppose.
Again, it's the whole. If the product's free, you are the product. So the more time you spend on there, the more they're benefiting from you from adverts and things. So they will do whatever they can to give you reason to stay on their site.
I did notice the other day that they've now started a. Well, it wasn't the other day. It was a couple of months ago. There's a dating bit on Facebook as well now.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, I'll show you.
Facebook dating.
Yeah.
Talking about like the YouTube boxing and that, because obviously you like your mixed martial arts and stuff like that.
Yes.
What do you think about the Conor McGregor and Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor and the way he did it? Did you see how he did it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm not that bothered.
All he did was on Instagram was following his missus.
He only follows Conor McGregor's girlfriend.
Yeah, D Devlin.
No one else.
Only follows her.
And he did the way.
And he called her out, said she was a 4 out of 10, and he could do much better.
I'll see if I can show you.
Called him a load of names.
So this is social media. That's what it's. That's.
And then he went out and water bombed Dylan Dennis.
Oh, brilliant! I mean,
water bombing someone.
There are some great examples of that of like fight rivalries in like sport and stuff like that. Of people going back and forth, and it makes for entertainment, I suppose. But again, that in the public eye, when it's for everybody to see, then it's a bit of fun. Maybe it does light a fire under people wanting to see that fight. That's all it is. Let's face it. Anybody like him who wants to fight a professional fighter, be it Floyd Mayweather or Conor McGregor, it's literally like you were saying earlier. It's like you pulling a shirt on and coming on for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
It's like that is literally the difference. Just because you may have played in the Saturday league and he may have stepped through the ring with a big crowd watching him, you don't
for a second
think don't for a second think that you're anywhere near the same league. Like you can't even see where he is in comparison to where you're standing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter, and that's the beauty.
If there's enough interest, and
Exactly
social
right.
media is a fantastic way of generating that interest.
If they can make £1 million,
like
$1 million each, and they can make some promoter a few $1 million, then the money talks.
Yeah.
Money talks. Everyone wants to see this fight. Everyone wants to see this fight.
I think he offered actually kind of going 50 million, didn't
Yeah. He offered him 50 million for the fight. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm surprised Conor didn't go. Yep.
Well, he's fighting at the minute, isn't he? So
Well, he's fighting at the weekend.
Yeah, so he's too focused on that to.
But there's nothing saying, yes, I'll take that money. I'll fight you.
And someone like Conor McGregor probably would, because
I'll fight you the week after.
That would be, I'll fight straight after. Although I don't know, I think it would definitely be better after Poirier. He's had his way with him.
Unfortunately, Poirier is going to lose, Jonathan.
Can we put this down in the podcast just so it's down? I think Poirier is going to win. I think TKO round 3 or 4.
I think McGregor's going to win second round. TKO.
So
Or might pull it out of the bag and submit him.
Never.
You don't know. You don't know his ground game.
We know Conor McGregor is not obviously a boxer, and it is boxing.
Doesn't matter. Again, you're talking about somebody who did box professionally, perhaps not at the highest level, has boxed on an amateur career, and is renowned for his stand-up. So he knows how to fight. Again, the gap between him and Mayweather was there for all to see. But that's because Mayweather's a technician in his sport.
Still did quite well there.
He was made to look like he did quite well. I think.
Yeah, Mayweather allowed him to get to round 10.
Yeah, he was okay, and he'd do quite well against some mediocre boxers. He'd do quite well against some has-beens. But there's levels to the game, and it's about the amount of hours that you've put into something. And Conor McGregor has been training as a fighter for over a decade.
Well, longer than that.
He's renowned for being a stand-up fighter, and whether you pull on boxing gloves or pull on MMA gloves, if you're fighting somebody who has barely no experience at all and has only ever fought other celebrities, you're in for a rude awakening, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, back to social media. It's a great tool for promoting. It's a great tool for getting your business out there or promoting your beliefs.
I mean, my biggest thing, I suppose, with it is the dangers of social media. I'm not just talking about
the dangers of young
people. I'm not just talking about the dangers for young people. For me, I think, and it's been more prevalent, I suppose, during the lockdown. It's the divisiveness that it causes. Like Ronnie was saying earlier, and you said, Jim, about people being in their own echo chamber.
Yeah.
Not only do you find yourself in an echo chamber, but you also, the conversation isn't real. You assume that it is. So I'd say most people in the world, or most people in the country, I'd like to think, are pretty central in terms of their political views. We always talk about left and right, and I think that's where things become really quite divisive in the world, when people do have left-wing views or right-wing views. But most people are pretty moderate. They might swing ever so slightly one way or the other.
And that views on both sides, haven't they?
Yeah, and that might change depending on the topic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You might be quite liberal on something like, I don't know, gay rights or something, but then you might be quite right-wing on, I don't know, let's say immigration, whatever it might be. So I think most people are very in the middle. But you might post something that's, let's say you are quite liberal, but you do say, oh, but you know what, immigration, and you put a couple of points up, you might get a tirade of people that are completely left-wing that will say, you're dead wrong, you're a racist, you're this, you're that, and the other. And is that person likely to go, okay, yeah, well, I'll take it, or are they going to then go, hold on, no, fuck you, and then all they're going to do is become even more right-wing, because all they want to do is put you down. So all you're doing is getting is starting
basically all you're talking about is the vitriol that goes on Facebook and things like that. There's that is something. I mean, there was no such thing as a troll when we were kids, unless it lived under a bridge.
Or
that's the thing you get now.
And now you just get people. You just get trolls that are just going in there to stir shit up, just to be, contrary to whatever you're saying.
No matter what you're doing, like YouTube, Facebook,
and that's going to affect.
You're always going to have someone that's going to hate on you.
Yeah, and that's going to affect people's mental health.
Exactly.
And with social media, you're going to see it. If they hate on you, you're going to see it.
Yeah.
If you do fall over or something and someone recorded it and post it on social media, if it becomes a massive hit.
Well, you could do something as simple as you could be running a business and you give someone less than perfect customer service.
That's one thing,
and they can then rip your business to pieces.
Yeah,
they can
that is a massive
fuck you up on TripAdvisor. They'll fuck you up on Facebook. All of those things. Google reviews. and they can just create as many accounts as they want
Yeah.
to put down as many reviews as they
I
want.
know
on
someone who
shit
did
like
that. I know somebody who got the ump with an establishment with a pub that they had an argument with the owners and set up social media, and the police came round to speak to them because they'd
just done it that much.
That's
Yeah,
the
they've
thing
done
with
it that
businesses.
much.
You could literally build a business for 10 years and one post on
And someone
Google
rip it down.
reviews and
Yeah.
it'll just shut you down.
Yeah.
It can ruin you.
Well, I mean, I think
That's why it's dangerous.
there's a career now. There's jobs in image management for social media, isn't there? That is now a career.
I know someone that actually his business is he owns a reviews thing. That's his business to like.
Is it Mr. FIFO?
No, I don't know. I don't
What's
know
that?
what
People
is.
send him stuff and he reviews them.
I don't actually know how it works. I just know his business was like reviews. So I don't know if he does the reviews
Right.
or
What,
I
for
don't really
fake
know.
reviews for people?
yeah. I don't really know.
Oh
how
wow!
it works.
Don't say any more than that.
Just
don't
check
know
his
how-
name
I don't know how it
after
works.
this. But yeah,
But
so,
just going back to the kind of mental health side of it as well. I think the other thing, even without trolls, there's a famous saying of comparison is the thief of joy, and the fact is nobody kind of posts their average or less than average days. It's always their good days. So when you're scrolling through your Facebook, all you're seeing is the best of everyone else's lives.
Yeah,
Most
everyone
likely.
tries to make themselves look better.
sometimes,
than they actually
yeah, I
are.
think
Yeah, so
Instagram's worse.
there are
That'll probably put you
Yeah,
down.
but there are people who will equate their life and say, well, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm sitting at home in pajamas, whereas that person's out water skiing and that person's out doing this, and
Yeah.
you know there is a big thing. I think there's quite a serious issue of kind of depression through comparing your life to other people.
Well, you look at that social dilemma, and it shows you the graphs of the horrific graphs of depression in teenage girls, suicide rates in
rates,
teens and teenage girls and boys. Obviously, boys suffer as well.
And men,
and that is
teenagers.
all. If you hear clinking, it's because we're having a brew.
Are you?
Thank you, Ethan.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Milk would be great. Yeah, thank you. You know, if you're on your own and it's late in the evening, why don't you pour yourself a brew? Or
I'm going to say, John, you
Or a
need to
lovely
get away
malt
from
whiskey.
that mic because that sounds the most creepy. We're not on OnlyFans yet.
tea.
Do a nice ASMR.
It's tea because it's Tuesday. Tuesday tea. At the weekend, we might have a. Thank you, Ethan. At the weekend, we might have a whiskey or 5.
My last podcast.
Yeah. So again, like I say, for me, it is that the thing I hate most is that divisiveness. And you see it in politics now. You see these huge gaps between left and right wing, and people's views on left and right wing. And it seems like there's, to put a word to it, it seems like there's just a lack of compassion in the world. And I think it's that rhetoric is spread by social media because you're either in an echo chamber and you're only seeing one side of the coin, or you're constantly in battle because you are trying to post something that might be positive or something that might be quite thoughtful and thought-provoking and think, have you ever thought about it from this way? And you're attacked with a rhetoric from people that just want to put you down.
Yeah,
So that makes
put
you
the
fight your
nicest thing in the
corner.
world. And someone's just going to try and put you down on it.
Yeah,
it's always the case.
Yeah,
Easily
I
happens.
mean, I might run an
Well,
experiment and just put a post out there just saying, I hope everyone is having a lovely day, everyone is healthy, and we all get along. And
And you
see
can
how
get
many
some
people.
arsehole-
See how
you
many
get
people go,
some arsehole saying, I'm having a
fuck you,
shit day.
Jim.
Yeah.
My day's shit. Why don't
Yeah.
you just fuck off?
Yeah.
You're always going to have someone
And is
like
this the
that.
problem with social media? Because like you were saying, Ronnie, before, it's like we are social beasts. We are meant to wave to people we know, to say a little hello. But that's different because you're seeing that person in the street. You're dealing with that person on a daily basis. On social media, I said this to Rachel the other night. It's like being in a football stadium with 80,000 people.
You can chant whatever you like at the
And
opposition.
everybody's shouting.
Yeah.
Everybody's shouting at the same time to each other, and it's not a normal interaction. It's not a normal interaction, and the arguments that people have aren't a normal interaction because they're all worded in. It's like you can't discuss a topic. It's people think that they're discussing things, but they're not. They're just going back
With
and forth.
football, I mean, it's very much a mob mentality there. You will stand there and shout stuff to the opposing fans.
Yeah.
That there's, a small minority might do it, but the vast majority wouldn't go up to those fans afterwards and just go,
Come on then.
Yeah.
No, because they know the steward's there to stop them. Yeah. And there's a screen and a
I
keyboard there
don't
to
know. I
stop
think
you.
with football's a bit different.
That's what I mean. It's a
I
mob
think you would
mentality.
have that mob mentality of,
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a mob mentality, but you wouldn't do it just you by yourself.
It depends
walk
what
up
kind
and
of
go.
person you are, but yeah.
That's why I said there's a small minority.
Yeah.
They're normally people that like to get into a fight.
There's a great example of kind of trolls on social media, and I don't know if you've heard of Sarah Silverman,
Yes.
comedian. Did you hear what she did about the troll? Basically,
Oh.
someone replied to one of her posts, I believe, being quite insulting and saying she was a very horrible person.
Oh,
And
no,
so,
I see this. Yeah,
yeah,
is this where
so
she went
she
out?
was,
She
yeah.
spoke to him because he had mental health issues, didn't it?
yeah, she reached out to him, sort of said, look, sounds like you're going through a hard time. And basically, it turned out this guy was suffering a lot of pain medically and couldn't afford the treatment. And I think in the end, she helped to finance his treatment.
Yeah, I do.
And it turned out, he was actually a lovely person. It's just in that situation,
he needed to vent.
yeah, his internal pain came out, and yeah, it's quite interesting to see that all these trolls on my front, not all of them, but a lot of them. Maybe there's other things going on there. It's not as simple as just nasty people.
Going to tell you in school they're only bullying you because they're jealous.
Or
Yeah.
weird and nerdy.
Or they have their own issues.
Weird and nerdy, yeah.
Like me.
Wow.
Or fat.
Or you stink, or
But
But there's a thing that people you can increase your own self-confidence by putting other people down. So
Yeah.
people who have low self-confidence will try and boost it by berating other people.
to make them feel better.
That's exactly the same thing with a guy. I don't know the exact thing in the story. There was a guy that lost his job because of trolling on the internet, and he was horrific, really hateful. And it again turns out he was just a normal guy, worked in an office, father of like 3 kids. And it was literally, he would come over in the evening and he was either that unhappy with his life or that pissed off with work that he would just vent online at whoever,
strangers,
all the time. Yeah. And ended up losing his job over it. So again,
it can be the same dangerous, can't it? Social media. You've got to be careful.
Right. So we need some benefits of social media.
I've got a great example. My favorite story about social media. I mean, you is Ryan Reynolds and the leaked footage for Deadpool.
Yes, amazing.
Because Deadpool, so basically Ryan Reynolds was sort of talking about playing Deadpool, but the thing is they wanted to do it as an R-rated movie, and before that they believed there was no way that they could release an R-rated movie and actually make any money from it.
Yeah.
Because it was all for kids, cartoon characters for kids. So basically they had this test footage that Ryan Reynolds leaked, which was incredible and sort of captured the essence of Deadpool. And it accidentally leaked on social media and was spread around a lot. Yeah. And basically the feedback from the fans was so strong, it convinced the studios that it was worth making Deadpool. So Deadpool probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that leaked social media.
Well, it's like the Schneider cut on the new, on the Justice League. Oh yeah, is a hardcore group that just want to see the original cut of the film that he was making before he had to come off of the project. Yeah, but there's a good chance that wouldn't have been.
I suppose with social media stuff like that, you do get a lot of leaks that can ruin stuff like that, though. Do you know what I mean? With shows and stuff like that.
We're doing positives now.
Yeah, well,
positives of social media.
It's true, though. Positives, but it is true as well. You get stuff like
spoilers,
private photos leaked and stuff like that, or
sex tapes.
Yeah. Like Kim Kardashian, even though it made her famous.
Oh, she released that herself, pretty much.
Didn't she? It was weird as
Paris Hilton probably maybe, who knows, did.
Yeah.
Is it wrong that I'm quite proud that I wouldn't recognise a Kardashian if I met them in the street?
No, that's good.
Oh no, you definitely would. You definitely would.
I think you'd recognise Kim Kardashian.
I don't think I would.
I could only recognise Kim Kardashian.
I will guarantee you would, Ronnie, because you would be pushed out of the street by the entourage and loads of screaming kids going,
yeah,
what's the name?
Kim.
Yeah. And you'd be like, oh, that must be Kim Kardashian. As she passes by and then 20 minutes later her arse does, then you'd know.
I mean, fair play to them. They know what they're doing to make a career out of social media.
Well, her mum, her mum did release that as a management, to make a.
Well, we don't know. It's speculation.
It's rumoured, yeah, that it was her mum's idea.
Yeah.
Because she's.
Well, it's similar to, Katie Price is a very controversial figure who has made a career out of basically just kind of social media and I think she's done quite well for herself. The way I think she's done well management-wise, whether it's her or her management team, to kind of extend her career as a
How many times you've been declared?
It's because she got stupid pink cars.
Well,
yeah. But she didn't do that necessarily on social media. She did that through standard media for a very long time. I thought she became famous. She was page 3. Was she page 3?
Page 3, I believe, yeah.
Page 3 girl.
Her Jordan ridiculed on social media.
Yeah, and
that's again. He's almost a meme now.
You are not finding the positives in social media.
We're going on good points here that have bad negatives. But actually ridiculed. Like from that, they made Christmas jumpers. On him.
Why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm laughing.
You're wrong.
Yeah, this is more an extension of the mob mentality, isn't it? There was that famous Darren Brown episode where he showed how far you could push a mob who thought they were anonymous.
Yeah, exactly. That
To
was
the point they,
incredible.
yeah.
But a lot
incredible.
of that was, I must say, a lot of that. Frankie Boyle didn't help in that regard, did he?
No, with his joke. No, that was great.
With his joke about cake
Joe
prices.
is good on social media. Ricky Gervais is quite good at like pushing like animal rights.
So there you go. So
Stuff like
there's the good points about social media. Is anybody can create a following. Anybody. I mean, would Marcus Rashford have been able to, a footballer, would he have been able to get the impact he's had in helping kids with in poverty without social media?
I think yes, there is a good chance he could have, because he is, a world class. He's a world class footballer.
Social media definitely.
And there's a good chance if he'd have gone, I want a press conference,
But would he?
the press would have turned up. Now, whether there'd been a groundswell after that from people, that's another matter.
Would he have sat there going, do you know what? Let me just ring the Sun or the Daily Mail or the BBC, or ring my producer, ring my manager or whatever. Can you? Or did he just start on like tapping stuff out on his phone while he's watching TV?
The thing with that
and
is
then
like
suddenly it grows the
manager.
following.
Yeah, he could have done. But if
And then he does so to get it off the ground.
Isn't it?
Exactly. So
It
to get
was
it,
over social
would he
media.
have made that huge? Because that's the difference, isn't it? Like now we can record this and we can put this out and we could get 1 billion listeners. 1 billion people could listen to us saying that Ethan works on his knees.
I'm a plumber. Not getting anything winning.
so you're on your knees and you're messing with pipe all day.
Yeah, leave the plumbing
Unbelievable.
out of it, Ethan.
Shut up, Jim.
So that's the beauty of social media. I think that anybody can become massive. Anybody can become influential under the right conditions.
I think Justin Bieber's the perfect example of that. He's both the double-edged sword.
Yes.
Justin Bieber was, okay, I don't know if he's a nobody, but he was a talented musician.
Wasn't he YouTube?
Yeah, who started putting his music on YouTube and gained a following, and now, fortunately or unfortunately, he's a world star.
But was it Usher that saw one of his videos and then was it Usher? I don't know.
Yeah, I
Something
think so.
like
But that social media changed him as well. If you think about it, now he's definitely better than he was because he got massive drugs and stuff and
I don't know.
drink driving and stuff like that.
that. Everyone gets into drink driving. Yeah, what are you doing? Gonna do some drink driving.
Yeah,
well into it.
Really is drink driving this summer.
I do think you're right that social media definitely pushes a lot of good stuff. Like without it,
GoFundMe's, just giving stuff like that to make. I mean, that's the internet in general, but the sharing of those things. Oh, have a look on this. I'm doing this for charity. I'm doing that for charity.
Like with the Facebook petitions for your
petitions.
birthday, when it comes up to your birthday, and you can make a page to like for a charity. So people just send you money on Facebook to a charity.
To a charity. Yeah. So obviously, there's pros. There's a lot of pros to. I suppose social media is like you're putting it in a basket and saying this is social media. But like we said before, YouTube social media is podcasting social media. Anyone can do it. Anyone can set up a podcast and download and stick it on like Spotify or whatever it is for nothing, or YouTube, and say whatever they want. So would that be classed as social media? And I suppose it's like I say, it's the internet in general now. There's so much there, and social media is just a way of sharing that information, be it positive and or negative. My only concern is those algorithms within social media that want you to become addicted, unfortunately, also cause these really, really dangerous
ever widening gaps.
Ever widening gaps and echo chambers. And I think that's the danger of social media. And but I think is it only a danger because I mean, I know that it does that. I know that social media does that.
Yeah.
So I know not to listen to it. But the amount of time, and I think it's the older people. So my mum or stepmom, she'll look at social media and she'll get information from it. I was talking to her about something to do with the COVID outbreak, about the new rules, and she's like, "Oh, I was talking to a friend of theirs, and he had it all on his phone. He was telling us this, that, the other, and where it's all coming from, or where it's all spreading from. But I know where he gets all his information from, and it's just from Facebook.
Yeah.
So
that's the one thing Facebook had, didn't it? Publishing fake news.
Yeah, fake news is the biggest thing at the minute. Well, fake news and the next thing will be deep fakes, which there's call for legislation on. I think today it came out.
Well, if you look at like Russia and China, they put all this stuff out there.
But the fake news side of things, it really does get me when people are like, oh, whether it be COVID or whatever it may be, some conspiracy theory, and then it's when people say, do your own research. But their research consists of looking on Facebook
or YouTube,
looking on YouTube
for the thing that they know is real. Like doctor says COVID isn't real.
Yeah,
and they put that into YouTube, and then they'll just get loads of videos saying a doctor saying COVID isn't real.
About why you shouldn't have the vaccine.
Yeah,
stuff like that, and then that's just from people So they're sharing what people have posted on social media.
Yeah,
thinking,
exactly.
oh, that's got to be right.
But that's what they mean.
Yes,
So when they say,
stupid.
"Oh, do your own research, don't be sheep,"
Yeah.
you are not doing your own research.
You're just
because you're not. You've not got a
saying.
vaccine that you're doing a double-blind study on.
Yeah,
You as an individual, you're relying on the information of someone else.
Yeah. So I
So
think that's
it's very difficult
I think,
to argue with it, stupidity.
to round out that conversation on, you were talking about conspiracy theories. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why there's so many conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Because there's just a complete distrust in the information that's given out, and governments do have to take some responsibility of that because they have lied through their arsehole on many occasions on lots of different things, and still do. But you do have to take what they say sometimes with a pinch of salt, but you can't rely on people's interpretations of what they think what they believe was the cause of COVID, or what they believe happens when you take the vaccine, and that gets shared a million times, and then that gets shared a million times, and that leads you to another video of somebody else that said something. The disinformation is a big part of social media, and that is a big problem, because you don't know what's real and what's not. If I said to you, there's a video here to say the vaccine's causing this, and you could show me it's in saying, well, the vaccine's not because of this.
Yeah,
it's like there's so much misinformation, but I think you have to be able to see it from both sides. You have to be able to take the information from both ends and make your own mind up in the middle. We are lucky in this country we have the BBC, I have to say, because I do think they're fairly impartial.
They are fairly impartial, but they still do get things
No,
wrong.
but it's as good as you're going to get, because they're not owned by a large media corporation that's making money.
Yeah, they're not there to push an opinion one way or the other.
Like Lad Bible and stuff. I don't know if you've seen. I
love the fact we've just gone from BBC to Lad Bible.
But go young generation. I'm gonna need a Waz. I'm going to the toilet.
A lot of people, so they'll hear something, a rumor, like Lad Bible, which do quite a lot, I think, and big called out for it, and literally make a story on it. So I don't know if remember when In-Betweeners were supposed to be doing a reunion.
No.
Or they did was it like last year or something? But it wasn't actually everyone thought it would be like a reunion episode, but what it actually was them having an interview with Jimmy Carr. And
they did a talk about it.
Lad Bible put that out there on all over Facebook as if it was going to be a massive episode reunion. So when it actually hit and everyone watched it, they were like, "Well, what is this? This isn't what we were read about," and stuff like that. And I think that's a massive thing with stuff like that. Because the guy that actually played Jay called him out on that and said, "If it wasn't for you, we probably would have got better ratings and stuff."
Yeah. My next big thing, I think, is the next big issue is going to be deep fakes. And there's someone that works in the you're software developer by trade, aren't you? So you've got a bit more insight into that than probably is lot, but it is scary. I saw a deep fake of Obama, done by the director.
Is this deep fake like the face?
Yeah. So basically, face they can generate a face to basically do the words and movements that the person's doing.
Oh, okay.
So what's the director? Oh, John, you're back.
Hello.
What's the director of Us and Get Out? What was his name?
Oh, fucking hell.
Ronnie, can you pull that up?
I remember.
Yeah.
Pull it up, Ronnie. Get it on your Google.
Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did a video where it starts off and it's just Obama talking, and then it just comes into a split scene, and it's Jordan Peele, but the
voice is
Obama.
They did that with
Obama.
the Queen recently, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
On IT, was it ITV?
On Channel 4, I think.
Channel 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Just some woman
But that is a big issue. That's not just going to be celebrities that are going to be,
politicians
put on porn sites and stuff like that. Their faces on porn actresses, which obviously for them is horrific.
Can't wait to see the Obama porn.
But if you're going to solely rely on your social media for news, and someone puts up a deep fake video of the Prime Minister, the President, Professor Chris Whitty, something like that, giving out information, how quickly that's going to be shared is scary.
What I find is, again, it's the older generation, I suppose, because I'd like to think that I take everything I see on the internet with a massive pinch of salt. In fact, I'm probably
proper Google it.
I'm probably more down the side of outside of bollocks. I probably disbelieve it before I believed it. Whereas I think older people,
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. A lot of people, they'll be very distrusting of buying stuff online, shopping online, banking online. Yeah, will quite happily scroll through their Facebook feed and then tell you that, I don't know, it's immigrants causing COVID,
Yes.
or whatever it might be. Name the thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that don't like banking online actually.
Online
Scared
banking
to
doesn't
have,
bother me,
like,
but
stuff.
purchasing online, if it's not a site I use regularly,
Yeah, you do.
then I will always
yeah.
check the reviews on it, because there's a lot of scammers out there.
It's not just that; it's like you could be buying fake stuff as well, and you don't know what.
Well, yeah, but if the things what you want, then yeah, I've just got to check that I'm not going to get ripped off, and perhaps I will receive the.
Where do we think social media is going?
Well, I just want to hear Ronnie's take on deepfakes and.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's all about awareness. It's knowing what is possible is the key to it. Knowing that just because you see a person saying something doesn't mean they have actually said that.
Yeah, it's like seeing isn't believing anymore necessarily.
No, I think we're right. I mean, the bigger thing.
Also let people off. Oh, that was a deep fake.
Well,
I didn't say that. Fake
I mean,
news.
there was already there to a degree with kind of with creative editing.
yes.
I mean, recently, in the last election, there was scenes of Boris Johnson where I think he got laughed at one point in one of the debates, but when it was edited and shown, the laughter got cut out, so it seemed quite serious, which altered the context of the clip. So I think it's what happening to a degree. Right? Even things like if you go back to the Brexit vote, the famous bus with the 350 million for the NHS. I think like my generation and people I know saw that and said, yeah, that's rubbish. That's an absolute load of rubbish. But I know for a fact my mum saw that and took it at face value and believed it. And who doesn't want to give 350 million to the NHS? It's at its face value is a very good thing. So it was highly influential to her and anyone else who doesn't kind of take what they see on the internet as fact.
It takes, so I suppose social media then takes propaganda to a new level entirely, doesn't it? And then when you add in your deep fakes and you add in
I think that
editing and stuff like that, it's too
for me,
easy.
The deep fakes becoming because there's an app that we've all used, I think, called Reface, where we can put our faces on.
I was Rocky earlier.
Exactly.
The other day.
You were indeed. And
You're Adrian.
If that is something that is commercially available as a free app, all right, it's not 100% great.
But it's a free app.
But it's a free app.
It's a completely free app.
Imagine what technology and software is out there that people can use. So, like I said earlier, it's going to get to the point where seeing is no longer believing.
Yeah.
Unless there's multiple sources showing different angles of the same footage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It crosses over to I'll talk about movies. The fact that actors die and still appear in movies because of this deepfake technology. Like we're talking about the next Black Panther. There's a possibility, there's a chance they will use the deepfake technology to replace or to put him back in the movie. I hope they don't, but
I really hope they don't. I think that would be awful.
Like they did with the end of the Mandalorian, Luke coming in.
Yeah, but he's not dead. They just de-aged him.
I know.
But Carrie Fisher, they did put in.
Well, there's two characters in Star Wars, isn't there? There's the Admiral as well. I think the Admiral.
Yes.
Rogue One. Was it? No.
Yeah.
Rogue One. Deepfake to him.
Yeah. So I mean, the technologies. I mean, I think a lot of it started from Deadpool as well.
The best. If you look at it, you can tell it's fake. But I think eventually it'll get to the point where you can't.
But like I say, seriously, if you've not seen it, go and have a look at the Jordan Peele Obama on YouTube. It is incredible. Wow. It is incredible.
So where do we think? Like when you think where technology is going? Obviously, Elon Musk talks about this Neuralink.
Can you imagine
embedded into your brain, which means that you
he
can.
talks about a lot though.
But they are testing this thing.
But he did talk about a lot of things like making cars and electric cars and
he was also talking about having roads under the ground.
And there's nothing to say that he will not do it.
Well, he is doing.
Well, no, it was the hypertube, wasn't it? The hypertube, which is being built, I believe.
Yeah. He made his own brick as well, didn't he?
He made his own roof tiles. There's a roof tile that includes the solar panel.
Brick as well recently.
But this is it. I mean, for someone like him who is, I think it would be fairly good to describe him as a genius.
Yeah.
If he's talking about a Neuralink, that would let you access all of these social medias and all of these things. I mean,
would you have one?
I don't know, because it depends on what it can do. If it's unfiltered and every thought you have, absolutely not.
No, it'd be a nightmare, wouldn't it?
If someone else can get into your brain, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone else be
permanently
listening to you?
what you're listening
exactly.
to? So you're lying in bed next to your wife and you're thinking, oh, Megan Fox was fit in that film. And she's like battering me. I thought,
Well, if you're in bed next to my wife, I'll be battering you anyway.
and what about you? I know you have quite a big bed because you're a
Large.
big man.
Yeah.
So she might not be able to hear you actually because you might be too far away.
That was one of the things with that Google glasses, wasn't it? That if you saw someone wearing a pair of Google glasses, if you were standing next to them, you could just say, "Okay, Google, show me pictures of cock."
Yeah. And they'll be like that. It's already on screen. Damn it.
Yeah,
there's it's interesting because the technology that's already. I mean, Google Glasses is a fantastic idea, as is augmented reality and virtual reality, but they've not really found the kind of killer application other than gaming so far.
Yeah, is it a gimmick?
Well, you say that, but I think there's this TV series called Dispatches from Elsewhere, which is based on a documentary. I can't remember the name. It might be the same name, which was based on an artist who did a game / augmented reality for people to enjoy around a city, which was incredible. I mean, the
so people
series
just wander around the city.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't augmented reality as in you were looking through like specs,
Right.
things and things like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, but it was you need to watch it really. It was incredible. Yeah,
I do think that it's quite far away at the minute. Stuff like virtual reality and that. It's
I
good
don't
at the moment, but I don't know.
I don't know. You look at Oculus and stuff. I think you look at how quick things are going, and I think that'll be the gaming of the future. Your PlayStation thingy will all be VR.
Well, in that
plug
case,
it into a monitor.
we need to throw back to a film made ages ago, which was bloody awful, called Lawnmower Man.
Yeah. Joe,
Well, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah,
we will be like Ready Player One.
Do you know what company owns Oculus?
is it
Tesla.
is it
Facebook.
Samsung? Oh, is it?
Oh,
there we go.
man.
Yeah.
Can you say
Which
that?
is-
Can you say the
Facebook
F word?
own everything now, don't they? Own Instagram, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, a virtual reality company is quite a departure for a social media company,
Yeah, but
which just shows us that's kind of the direction they see it going from that purchase. It's
Yeah.
quite interesting.
So you've got your Instagram for video, for pictures and stuff. Your TikTok for videos. Your Facebook if you're an old person and you just want to rant about being racist.
I mean, I think you can do other things on Facebook.
No, you
Yeah.
can't.
No?
No, that's all they
Okay.
do.
ranting about
You
your
can
dad
check
dead.
it.
That's
Your
all they
dead
do.
dad.
You can check into a restaurant, rant about racists. That's it.
I don't know. It's too much for me. Facebook. It's too. Every minute of your day can be uploaded onto Facebook, and I hate that.
With the check-in side of things. I mean, I do like some of the things they brought in. Checking into a restaurant and tagging my mate in it who also loves curry, who's not there. I enjoy that.
That's just because you like taking the piss.
Yes, I do.
You might as well. You could have just sent them a photo.
Check in and tag him saying, "Wish you were here." You know, stuff like that.
What was the social media network that was all about basically tagging at locations? Was it like Foursquare or something?
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that. No.
There was one. It was all about tagging at locations.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know that one.
I was thinking they must have taken a real hit with the
And they
with
go
lockdown.
and I mean, it seems like with TikTok and Snapchat and stuff, or especially TikTok, is Snapchat dying off now? Is people still? Because that seemed like a crock of shit, to be perfectly honest.
No,
Snapchat.
I mean,
I
I don't know
think
if
it's dying off for young people, but it's dying off for people like when we were young. I don't think we use it as much.
The big sell for Snapchat was that the pictures weren't saved.
Yeah, it vanished.
It vanished.
Yeah.
Which gave, so you can have a sense of, I can send whatever I want.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to stay.
Yeah.
And that was really quite dangerous.
Really big.
And I think as soon as Snapchat came out, there was a massive thing about unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was before or whether it was at that time, but
then
the phrase after a while, the phrase dick pic didn't really get bounded around.
No,
it's not like you're taking a Polaroid of your dick and walking up to a girl in a bar, is it? For you, my dear. You know, but all of a sudden it became acceptable to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, acceptable is debatable.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
In the younger generation, they seem to find no problem in sending, obviously males, sending their picture of their genitals to
their gran.
Well, to anyone.
Happy birthday, gran.
Now, one lad,
just look at OnlyFans, really.
One lad sent a dick pic to my daughter when she was 15, I think, 14, 15. But I was literally on her phone because I used to check their phones to make sure it was, and this thing came through and I was like, oh, interesting. So I had a look, see who it was.
Just checked it out, see if it was big.
No, see-
yours.
Oh, it was massive. I mean, he had at least 2 inches, so he was hung, you know what I'm saying? Checked out who it was, went on to Facebook, and this was a really good bit of social media for me because I found him on Facebook, and obviously then found his dad.
A lot of people do that for work as
and
well,
then
right?
found
Interviews and things.
a friend in common with his dad, contacted my friend, who then had a word with his dad, who then had a word with his son, who then sent an apology through after I'd already sent a picture of my face saying, I will hurt you. But social media was good for me in that regard.
Yeah.
But bad in the first place because it meant my daughter, thankfully she didn't see it, had a dick
I do
pic
think
sent to her.
things are dying out though. Like, I think TikTok eventually will die out. I think
It
it got
seems-
massive all of a sudden because of lockdown and no one had anything to do.
It seems like
So posting videos of you dancing was like something to keep you entertained.
It does seem like TikTok's like it's going down more down that fun route, like that. Just being like TikTok
Just
just
being
seems
silly,
to be.
yeah,
It's
just
not.
doing
It's
what
not
you
about
want.
sharing important information or
No,
sharing.
it's just
What are
you
you up to
dancing.
today? Or I'm having this for breakfast. Or
But that was
a
like-
photo of the turkey.
I don't know
just
if
had.
any of you ever had Vine.
Oh, well, it was
Was
very
that-
similar, wasn't
was
it?
that a
Wasn't
4-second
TikTok
video?
That was like a
four-
4-second video of something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would just make you massively famous. So that's how I think Logan Paul got famous. Really was from Vine.
The only Vine I think I remember was a bloke doing maths on the back of a car. It was a 4x4. And he just filled it in and then turned to the camera. 4x4.
Yeah, but that was right. But that's
4 times
now
4. Yeah.
gone completely. Like they've got rid of
Was
the
it
app.
not sold off? No.
No, they've just got rid of it. That just died out. No one really used
I
it.
tell you
And
what-
I think
I tell you
a
what-
lot of stuff will go like that.
Really good bit of I don't know if you can call it social media. Honestly, don't know. LinkedIn.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, so it's social media. But I mean, I'm not really on it. Rachel uses it a lot for her work as well. I am on there for work, but I'm really bad with social media because I don't like using it.
Yeah.
And she says some people use it like Facebook.
Yeah, I have noticed there are some people that use it like Facebook and they're putting in what they're doing, where they're going,
Yeah.
that is not related to work in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But the majority of people that use that are using it as a networking tool for businesses.
So that
Or whether they're looking for employees or whether they're looking for an employer.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of. But that, I mean, social media can be fantastic, but it can also be crap.
Yeah. So I don't think it's
I
going
think
away
that's where
anytime
we
soon,
are.
is it?
Oh no.
I mean, interesting looking at I was trying to graph of TikTok installs, and it looks like it actually hit its peak in the fourth quarter of 2018, so before lockdown.
Oh really?
Installs actually dropped after that. I mean, that's installs, not usage. But I think it pretty much made a name for
Why
itself.
never installed it during lockdown?
Just out of interest, how many people have installed it? Does it say?
It's got numbers, yes. So I mean, this is per quarter. In the fourth quarter of 2018, there were 205 million installs.
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
I'll have to show you after.
That's nearly as good as our subscribers.
Well,
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
but yeah, I don't think social media is definitely going to go away anytime soon.
No, love it or hate it. I think
I
so.
think
For
that's
me,
where we're at, aren't we? Really,
for me, the
it can
message
be good and it can be bad.
Yeah, like anything, just
Yeah.
like anything, like alcohol can be good, it can be bad. Like
depends
anal
how you
sex,
use
that
it.
can be good or bad, depending on if you've asked for it or if you're in prison and somebody's got a shank in your back. You got no choice.
That ain't no shank, boy.
But like anything, so I think the message is.
I love the fact you went to anal sex straight after
what?
alcohol and anal sex. What was going on?
If you haven't watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix, it's well good. It's a proper, really,
good, yeah.
really good documentary. It's really eye-opening, really eye-opening. So if you haven't seen that, do go and watch that. But that's the thing for me. Don't get all your news from Facebook and social media, and try not to be divisive. Try to be nice to people. Don't only look at ones. This is the one thing that
Don't unfollow people that
don't
disagree
unfollow,
with you.
Yes, don't unfollow people that show a different view to you.
There's, you know,
It's
And
important.
just
I know
don't
that it's
unfollow
people.
people, because I really know from people past, people don't like it when you unfollow them.
People don't like it. If you unfollow someone, they go mad.
well, I think when you unfollow people, sometimes they turn into killers and turn up because I think
That
there's a
is
film
another
made
thing,
about
by the
that.
way.
Yeah.
There's now apps to tell you when people have
Yes,
unfollowed
it's
you and
very
blocked
sad,
you and
isn't it?
stuff like that. Or
Very sad.
yeah, I think
It's very sad. You
I
put
mean,
that.
it's sad, but it's the social instinct we have, isn't it? People want to be followed and be popular and have large social network.
That's like saying, that's like thinking, oh God, here comes Jim, fucking hell, into the office. Like, he always talks about bullshit, so I'll pay him lip service, but I don't really care what he's going to say.
No,
but when you mute someone or unfollow them, whatever it is, you're physically saying, like, you've walked into the office, fuck off, Jim, I hate you.
Right. So look at it from this way. So if you earn your money through one of these social media sites,
yeah,
and you post a bit of content each day,
yeah,
if you've got that app that tells you when people have unsubscribed, you would be able to say, I don't know, a chunk of people unsubscribed on this day. What did I post? Was it controversial? Should I change the way I put things out? That's what those apps I think were created for.
But people that aren't getting money from stuff are generally using it just to see who's unfollowing.
Yeah, they're weird,
and then they get the arse where people unfollow.
You'd see from your numbers if somebody unfollowed you. Let's say you drop 20,
people like to know,
20 people.
Yeah, that's for people.
Knowing the specific people, I think, is sad.
Yeah. But if you've got 15 million followers, you ain't going to notice 20 people disappearing, you know.
Well, then it don't matter though. You might lose 20 or gain 20 if you've got 15 million.
But if a big chunk go, say 500,000,
but then
you wouldn't notice.
You don't want to know the specifics, though, are you?
I don't know.
You don't want to know the specific person.
Oh no,
you're not going to then. That's what we're on about. We're on about.
Yeah, I suppose
specific person.
I suppose you're right. If you are running like a big Instagram channel or whatever, then yes.
Or YouTube.
And you drop 500,000.
YouTube show you your statistics.
But this just goes through the dark side of social media, isn't it? People put too much into it. If I lost all my followers tomorrow, I wouldn't care.
Well, Burger King famously did a thing where they offered, I think they offer people on the street, like if you drop 10 friends off Facebook, they'll give you a free burger, and a lot of people took up the offer.
Yeah,
which shows how valuable a Facebook.
I've looked at yours. I've got like 500 friends. It's like you don't even know 500 people.
I'd have to get 10 friends to drop them. Just me and the cat.
I do need to go through my Facebook. So that was when I was at school. It was like cool to have loads of friends.
Yeah. What's that number? There's a number, isn't there? Is it someone's number, and it says how many people you can actually be friends with at any one time, and it's something like 20 or something like that. It's like there's like an actual figure that like you can physically only actually be friends with this number of people.
Yeah, Dunbar's number.
Dunbar's number. That's it. What's the number, Ronnie?
And a pube on the table. Nice.
That'll be a big
150.
Oh, it's 150. But that's everything, isn't it? That's like going from best friend to acquaintance.
Yeah, it's 5 close friends, 15 super family, 50 clan, 150 tribe.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you are.
So I had a big call of Facebook. So it used to be a thing to get loads of friends. Yeah, no, I literally killed them all.
You were that guy.
No, I had a friend who turned out to be a wrong 'un, and at that point I deleted.
He was a nonce, wasn't he, James?
Yeah, he turned out to be. Well, I don't know if we can say. I don't know if we can say he was. He had illegal images of children, but he didn't touch any that we know of.
He was nonce, weren't he?
So
he was a nonce. He was a right nonce.
I think he went to prison for
noncing.
Is it called making and distributing?
He went to prison. He didn't. I'm sure he just got like a nonce stamp.
No, they didn't stamp nonce on his head.
He's a nonce.
But basically,
you don't know what people are doing on there.
Exactly, and these are friends, and then that was a reasonably close friend. We used to go out drinking and stuff, and watching the footy and rugby together and stuff like that.
Bathe
and obviously bathe together, obviously, yeah. But because on my Facebook I had pictures of my kids when they were growing up,
it scares you, doesn't it?
That worried the shit out of me.
So talking about that,
I literally got rid of everyone I didn't personally know, because if one of my friends could be, that sort of person, any of these people that I didn't speak to on a regular basis could definitely be. Well, there's nothing saying that the people have got on there now aren't like that, like your dad. I mean, he could be the world's biggest nonce.
That's the thing. You can walk past someone.
He could be King Nonce of Nonceville. We just don't know.
That's the problem with with everything, isn't it? You could literally walk past someone and they've like just murdered someone before you know. Or,
I mean, if they're covered in blood, it's it's a bit of a giveaway.
If they're good, if you don't know how good of a murderer they are,
they could be great murderers.
But talking about that, I know someone.
Why would you segue into talking about murderers?
No, not murderers. Talk about your nonsense story.
Not my nonsense story. It's not.
I know someone that used to be like in a dance, like do dance, and like he had a girlfriend that did dance with him, and their friend had a boyfriend who did dance with them, and it actually turned out that that boyfriend used to like watch. He'd been in prison. He used to watch kiddie porn and stuff like that.
Nice. He was a nonce.
He was a nonce.
He was a nonce, but they were like,
Is that politically correct?
but no one.
You're allowed to say nonce.
Well, we've said it enough now, so if
But
it's
like,
not
no one
Because
knew,
you're referring to
no
paedophiles,
one knew
aren't you?
anything
Yeah.
about it until I think the police actually came and knocked on his girlfriend's house and said like, "We've seen him around with your kids and
Nonce.
stuff." Just to let you know, he is a nonce, or not a nonce, but we don't know if he's ever touched.
I
The
doubt
word,
it.
the word, word
Please
straight
knock
to
on
his
the door.
meaning for me now.
No, they like knocked on his. No,
Please knock on the door. That bloke, nonce. See ya.
no, but they just told her about his past,
Yeah.
obviously, because people.
Did they just show him a picture? Do you know this nonce?
And obviously, they've left her. They've left.
He's been noncing
She's
around.
left him. She's left him with her kids on her own,
Oh shit.
and her friend has left him
Yeah.
with their kids on her own. And he might have not touched them. You can't say he has, or he might have not been a touchy nonce. He might have just been a lucky nonce.
They've been nonced. I would bet your bottom dollar he made sure
He's not a touchy nonce.
he's just a lucky nonce.
He's a lucky nonce. Oh, no.
I bet your bottom dollar he baffed them kids before they went to bed.
We don't know, but yeah, it's
This
just
is
that
taking
fear.
a turn. How is this social media?
It's just that fear. That's all I'm saying.
Well, social media is a platform for sharing nonsense
He's a
stuff.
lucky nonce.
Not a lucky nonce. Not a lucky nonce.
Lucky, you're lucky.
I know, but lucky nonce. He's not a touchy.
He's a bloody lucky nonce. Do you know what Craig had the other night? He got to babysit 2 lovely little 8-year-olds. He's a lucky little nonce.
We're not going to be allowed to post this. Oh, no. He's not a touchy nonce.
I think we need to end it.
So overall, I enjoy social media. I also despair of it.
I'm with you.
yeah,
It's important. I don't think it's going away, but please be careful about. Don't get all your information from it, and don't be divisive on there, and don't give yourself set yourself in a silo. Be worldly and open to all things, and make your decisions based upon the information from all corners of the world.
Yeah, when you say people say do your own research, obviously that's going to be really difficult. But you can go to governing bodies, you can go to
Google
libraries,
has everything.
you can go to the Office of National Statistics, you can go to BBC,
Just don't go off
you can go
Facebook.
to lots
Messages,
of facts.
messages on DMs on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll answer your questions.
Slide into our DMs.
Well, I'm married.
If you're a nonce,
I'm just
though.
saying.
Well, we're not
Only
going to
if
know.
you're- only if
I don't
you're
think they're
lucky
going to
nonce.
announce. I don't think they're going to announce themselves.
We don't
Hi,
know.
I'm a nonce. I have a question. No, we'll leave the nonce alone.
Yeah. We won't touch on nonsense for next week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. What's
And
this
Twitter.
podcast?
We've
On
got a
Twitter.
Twitter
What's
as
this
well.
podcast?
I'll put them in the description down
If you're
below.
listening on Facebook, subscribe, like, notification.
Facebook, do you mean YouTube?
YouTube. Jeez.
Yeah. Don't forget to like the video on YouTube if you enjoyed it.
Share it
and
with friends.
subscribe it.
We need some topics for next week. So
We also
please,
need
please,
some
yes.
topics next week. We are gonna. So last week was a bit of a. We just did 2 because we fancied doing 2, but most of the time we are just gonna do like 1 a week. now and
I
then-
say we do one every other day. It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
We
could actually-
we
should we
need
do another
topics. We do need to.
Yeah.
So the idea was we were going to set a few topics, and we then wanted people that were listening to say, "Oh, it'd be great if you could talk about." Try not to be as specific as I don't know.
I've got.
Something very specific.
I've got a topic that someone sent in.
Is it Luke?
I think we may or may not cover it at some point.
Well,
But it said, where is
it
it?
is very, very specific. Try not to be overly specific in the same way that somebody suggested YouTube, and YouTube, obviously, we stretched that out to social media. So if you want to give us a starting platform, and then we stretch it out a little bit just so we can chat shit, but then it is probably going to turn to nonsense anyway.
I do think that the comment by
By the way,
a young lad called Luke, who
He's
wanted
only
to talk
9.
about
He's only 9, Luke.
the rise and fall of the Vikings in England from the raid in Linda's farm in 793 to, I'm pretty sure he spelled that word wrong.
Yeah, but
Knut.
that's far too
He's got his
specific.
U and an N the wrong way around.
That's just far too specific. Nothing like that. Just,
Well, no, there's nothing saying that we
general
can't talk about that. It's just not going to be a very long podcast.
that's what I mean. But what you really want is just a topic. So we could have done history there.
So we could have done history, we could do
Yeah.
religion, we could do science. I mean, we are not
All the
experts
big
in
three.
anything. Anything. We could do.
We're jack of all trade, master of none.
We know nothing, but
If
we
you
like to
if,
talk about
if
it.
your kids are currently being homeschooled and you want us to do a lesson, we can do
Yeah,
that.
let's
On
do
our
a lesson.
spot nonce, we could do
Choose
our
a
spot
topic.
nonce.
Choose a topic, and we'll do a lesson.
We'll do a lesson. We will
don't know. We're
do.
not experts in nonsense. We're not. nonce hunters or Nazi
That is a great thing from social media, though, isn't it?
I was going to bring that up.
No,
Do you
it's
think
not,
it's
because
good?
how
'Cause I
many
don't
people
think it is.
have been battered that weren't nonces? How many, like, wasn't there a guy who was a not a pediatrician, he was a
Paedophile.
he was, what's the foot one?
Pediatric.
No, I want to say not chiropodist, but it's the one begins with P.
I know that. Yeah.
Podiatrist.
Podiatrist.
He got battered because they thought it said paedophile because they were morons. So it's the death penalty, isn't it? For all the times that it does do away with a mass murderer or a mass rapist.
The thing is, though, it doesn't actually.
If it gets it wrong once,
it just
then
gets
it's
them
wrong.
out as a nonce. It doesn't actually get them arrested.
No, it doesn't. They send all the information over to the police, but I think the paedophile hunters, on the whole, are a good thing.
Watch the episode on that Criminal on Netflix. That was another good series we did talk about. You know the series Criminal? Did you watch that?
I did, yeah, where they're just in its 2 rooms.
In the 2 rooms, yeah, and they're interviewing. There's one where there's a woman,
guy from Big Bang Theory,
and that's what she is. She's I don't know if you've seen that
Yes,
one. It's
I have,
amazing, where she ousts people
Yes.
for being a pedo, and
Yeah.
then so they're interviewing her because it's all gone horrifically wrong.
Yeah. I have.
So again, it's like it can very easily happen. You get the wrong person and ruin someone's life.
But yeah, anyway.
Well, the Sun did it. They put pictures up on the front of their paper, didn't they?
Yeah.
And there were some people on there that weren't.
But yeah, anyway, we're going off topic again. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, definitely like our video
Like,
on
subscribe,
YouTube. Subscribe,
download, share.
get us out there. Really, spread us along.
DM,
Spread us
DMs.
around like butter.
What does that mean?
Doing this direct message.
Oh,
Direct
why?
message.
So why would you slide into a direct message? I don't
It's
understand.
basically it's a bit like this.
It's just
It's
a
like a
hippie
modern
way,
version of like
modern
Netflix
kiddie
and chill.
version.
Right.
You know, slide into his DMs or her DMs.
Oh, okay.
Like, just like,
Why'd you have to
slid
But
in.
yeah, cool.
Because
Why'd you
it's
have to
sleazy.
slide?
It's like sending a dick pic.
Why
Sleazy.
can't you jump in?
You can jump in if you want to jump in. If you want to jump in feet first into someone's DMs.
The
Oh,
best
God,
thing
that
is
sounds
when
painful.
I've seen like people actually like slide into people's DMs, but they're like sending photos of like a wardrobe or a bed, and then they're like, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, sorry, I'm just moving into your DMs," and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cheesy.
Or,
I like it.
a photo, someone put an emoji of a dog, and he's like, "Oh, come here, boy. Sorry about that," or something like that.
You're so easily pleased.
Yeah, that's quite good. That's
it
like
is
a dog
quite
running
good.
up to someone in the park. Oh, I'm really sorry. You must really like it. Push your number.
That's a good. I think we should do an episode on the best and worst chat up lines. That's a good one.
Oof, I don't know if we'd get a whole episode out of it.
Oh yes, we will.
Well, but yeah. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed.
We're going to do
Thanks
this
for listening to our
to
ranting.
the ending again. We keep going past it, don't we?
No, just
This is the
listen to
final
us.
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go.
just like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you don't miss another one of our shows on YouTube. Just check out our podcast sites. I think we're now on Apple,
Tell us what to talk about next.
and yeah, follow our
Instagram,
Instagram, Twitter,
Facebook.
and tell us what you want to
Or,
see.
or what you want us to change. Do we rant for too much? Does it need editing? Do we go off topic too much? Does it need to be shorter? Does it need to be longer?
Do we need to just?
You
do
just
we need
give
to be
us,
more
we like
drunk?
our criticism, so you tell us. But yeah,
Don't be trolls, don't be mean. Bye.
Bye.
No, be trolls, be mean. Bye.